Hey guys, it's Rob here, and welcome back to the Robo Show, where we take the gaming news format that channels like Spawnwood or Arlo do, add a dash of animation and some cool editing on top to bring you your gaming news, leaks, and rumors in a fresh new way. If you're new here and want to be kept up on everything gaming, make sure you subscribe to the channel and leave a like if you enjoyed the video and dislike if not. In this video, we are going to talk about Kirby and the Forgotten Land's new trailer, plus the release date and how it was leaked ahead of time. One of my all-time favorite trilogies coming to the Nintendo Switch, Horizon Zero Dawn's leak that honestly surprised me, as well as Sony's plan to combat the chip shortages, which I have some mixed feelings on. So let's jump right into today's news with the Kirby and the Forgotten Land news. So wow, this game looks really good. This honestly looks better than I thought it was going to be, if I'm being 100% honest with you guys. They are going all out with this Kirby game. Now, from the looks of the trailer, there seems to be your usual Kirby gameplay, but if you pay attention to the trailer, you can see story bits, a hub, collection, crafting, and abilities, and a lot more. It's almost as if they added RPG mechanics to the game. They even have someone following with you, which could point to a party system maybe? Or maybe he's just along for the ride and it's part of the story, because sometimes games do that. I definitely want to comb through this video and kind of pick apart each part of the video. But the amazing gameplay aside, the main focus is the release date. Now, in my last video that I did, it was on a huge Nintendo Switch leak, which has two parts. One of the games on the list was in fact Kirby and the Forgotten Land, with the exact release date of March 25th, and this is what the tweet said. Looks like Kirby will come in March 25th and Advance Wars in April 8th. There is also a couple minor games to be announced for spring season. Fire Emblem Echoes should be released in the first half of 2022 too. And it was spot on. Now, whether or not this is his info or something he found out from another person is something that I can't really say. But this is what I meant by his Nintendo Switch leaks being right sometimes, and sometimes the Nintendo Switch leaks are wrong, and why I still cover them, because you can guarantee some of his info is spot on. I'd say the exact date of Kirby and the Forgotten Land is pretty as spot on as you can get. And if I remember, months before this game was even announced, he also said that a Kirby game will have RPG mechanics too. And judging by the trailer, that could potentially be right as well. Now, if you want to watch that video that has Kirby and a whole slew of other exciting Nintendo Switch games, here is part 1 of that Nintendo Switch leak. And then make sure you watch part 2 of that, because that's the stuff that covers the Kirby stuff and Pikmin 4 and other things like the ZELDA games. Because if Kirby was right, who knows what else could be right. And moving on to our next topic, we have Assassin's Creed coming to the Nintendo Switch. So Assassin's Creed is an interesting series for me. I've played every single Assassin's Creed game to date. Valhalla, Odyssey, AC1, AC2, Black Flag, you've named it, or you name it, and I've played it. And while I enjoy the newer games for what they are, I just can't help but look to the past Assassin's Creed games like Assassin's Creed 2 or Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, or even Assassin's Creed 3, which was a pretty decent game. I loved how the story focused more on the Assassin's Creed versus the Templars, and more focused on the characters themselves as well. More so than whatever AC Valhalla is doing. That's where AC is at its best in my opinion, story-wise anyways. Although gameplay-wise, some things in the past Assassin's Creed games like parkour are a lot better, like way better. I mean, I love traversal in the older games, they're so much better, especially Black Flag. And now it seems we can take the story portable on our Nintendo Switch February 17th, because the Ezio trilogy is coming to the Nintendo Switch on that date. Now, I think it being on the Nintendo Switch is going to be very interesting. I really want to see the difference between the PS4 version and the Nintendo Switch version. And it's a good thing too, because I own the PS4 version, so I think a comparison / review video would be really cool. So if you want that review and are enjoying your news so far on the Robotron Show, make sure you subscribe and have that notification bell on. And next up, we have some Horizon Forbidden West leaks, a game that I am really gonna enjoy once it's out. And don't worry, I won't be spoiling anything. In fact, I probably won't even show the pictures, because Sony will probably not like me showing them on this video, because the leaks are of the game running on the PS4 and it's just photos. Keep that in mind, it's not video. And if you want to look at them for yourself, you can easily find them. You just gotta Google the articles that are covering it and look at the source. But anyways, I am shocked at how good this looks on the PS4. Guys, this doesn't even look like a PS4 game, or does it? I think a lot of people forget about how good The Last of Us 2 looked on the base PS4. I think a lot of people forget about how The Last of Us 2 looked on the PS4, not to mention God of War as well, and even Horizon Zero Dawn 1. Heck, even Ghost of Tsushima and Miles Morales plus the original Spider-Man PS4 game looked all fantastic. It always amazes me how much companies can squeeze out of these consoles, even the Nintendo Switch, like Witcher 3 runs on the Switch, and even the newest Dunes. It's really crazy. So this is why I'm really excited for the next coming years on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Imagine the power they are going to squeeze out of these consoles. I mean, they're essentially high-end PCs. And with Horizon Forbidden West looking so good, the PS4 owners who can't find PS5s because of chip shortages will be blown away as well. And good news if you still want a PS4 Pro, because it seems that Sony has a plan to fix those shortages. As we know, these chip shortages are severely hurting the gaming industry right now, including the bug as well, with delays hitting things and disrupting manufacturing and development of games and hardware. But it seems that Sony is going to have you covered in some way, because the PS4 is going to be keeping up with production in 2022. According to Bloomberg sources, they say that this is going to help Sony negotiate better with manufacturers as well, which might lead to more PS5s down the road. Hopefully anyways, I hope that's a connection that I'm making that does happen. Now I think this is a good thing, but it's also a bad thing. It's a good thing for players who want to play these games no matter what, even if they can't play it on the PS5. But it's also bad for future PS5 games. Extending the PS4's lifespan is something that could potentially affect future games. Oftentimes you will see companies try to sell new PS5 games with PS4 versions as well. This has a huge impact on how games are made, because it needs to run on weaker hardware, which will hold back just how big and grand the game can be, especially open world games. Sometimes it can go even right down to the graphical fidelity. A recent game, Halo Infinite, is a perfect example, although they did fix it up after that delay. If it would have been specifically made for the Xbox Series X, I can bet it would have been graphically better. Not saying that it's a super ugly game, but let's be honest, if it was made for the Xbox Series X, the most powerful console right now, it definitely would have looked better, especially considering the open world nature of the game and the campaign. Now of course there are many other factors that depend on the graphical fidelity of a game and how big and grand it is. Obviously one of them is the studio that's making it. As we've seen with the Horizon Zero Dawn leaks, you can get a lot out of a game. Now if this was Xbox, I probably would be a little bit more worried, because we have seen how it can affect. As I said, Halo is a clear example, but judging by the Horizon Zero Dawn leaks, it seems potentially the PS4 wasn't really holding it back too much, if at all anyways. And as we've seen even on the Xbox side with the recent racing game, the name is escaping me right now, it can still look fantastic. Honestly, that looks amazing. You guys should really try it out. Now keep in mind, we haven't seen gameplay running on that PS4, so we gotta see what the frame rate is and how well it runs. But I mean, typically with the first party games on the PS4, we usually see some fantastic performance and visuals, so it will most likely run smooth. Now I know some people might find it weird for a Nintendo inspired character to give Sony news and talk about Xbox, but I personally just love all games, no matter what platform. Maybe I'll make a Sony and Xbox character if we get enough subs on the channel who are Sony and Xbox fans. And if not, on your way out, make sure you subscribe for more videos and also have that notification bell on. And if you want to support the channel in any other way, there is my Patreon and Twitter account in the pinned comment if you're interested in those. Oh, and also have this donut if you're still sticking around for me rambling. Thanks for watching guys, and remember, stay safe, stay charged, and have a good one.